Yeah. Hey, Mr. Cotton Blend Professor, everyone. It's Jason, the Black Rapper, and in this video, I want to answer a comment that was posted on one of my previous videos, the TMI challenge video, the TMI tag video. This comment comes from Mike Houghton, and Mike Houghton writes, "And why haven't you followed up with your dream as a comic book artist?" He is responding to something that I had mentioned in part of the 20 questions for the TMI tag video. If you have not seen that yet, you could click the link below to check out the video where I have 20 questions and I have to answer them all, and they're all about me, so they're personal questions. So if you want to know more about the Black Rapper, then I encourage you to click that link. And one of the questions was, tell us one thing that you don't know, that people don't know about you, or something interesting about you. And so I mentioned how I used to want to be a comic book artist. I make my own characters, do my own comic books and all that. But I let that dream of mine die. It was a dream and I let it die. So Mike Houghton with the comment asked, why didn't I follow up with the dream as a comic book artist? And I said, you know what? It's a cool idea. It's a cool idea for a video. So here it is, the video responding to it. And actually what I want to do is I want to show you some of the pictures, some of the drawings that I've done in the past. And I'm just going to put them on the screen right here so you could actually check them out. And if you want to see more, I'll even have a link below for that as well, so you can see more of my artwork. And then you tell me, am I a good comic book artist? Should I get back into comic book? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know if you think I should get back into it or not. So with that in mind, let's go and take a look at the comic book pages and artwork. Alright, so this picture here is actually a comic book page I did. I used to own a website way back in the day. It started in 1999, went on to about 2004-ish. It was called Sonic vs. Team. That was the website that I used to own. I still own it, but you know, it doesn't get updated. So anyway, this is a page from a comic that I was working on called Sonic Shadows. This was after the whole Sonic Adventure 2 for the Dreamcast came out way back in the day. So it's been several years, but as you can see here, I took a lot of time to draw details on this giant robot that was rampaging the city. And this was actually the first page. So the next page was going to be show Sonic. In fact, I'll show that in a second, but as you can see here, there's characters in the box. You see there's 3 human characters and then a cat character below that. The 3 human characters, interesting enough, was me, my girlfriend at the time, and my idea of if we had a kid, what our kid would look like. So little interesting tidbit there. So anyway, the next page coming up, you see the follow-up, which you can see Sonic's feet, and then you see Sonic the Hedgehog running up to the robot. And as you can see, it never actually got finished. That's about as far as I got with that page. So yeah, what do you think so far? Any good? Okay, so this is a character that I created, a personal character I created called Paris Monsoon, and it was for a comic book that I was working on called Lender and the Lost Renegades. This is actually a series that I developed all on my own. I used to do a lot of this. I used to literally create my own characters and then create stories around them, and I try to work on comic books for these stories that I had, but I've never really gone too far. This is one of them. One of the failed projects, Lender and the Lost Renegades. Had a lot of promise, but I just never followed through with it. And so yeah, this is Paris Monsoon. She is the female protagonist, basically the love interest of the main character known as Lender, who is the captain. This is basically a pirate comic book series. As you can tell, she's kind of have like these, I don't know if they're specifically pirate-ish outfit, but yeah, she's got daggers on her arms, on the gloves and whatnot. So not too much to say about that, but you know, I used to draw these characters, I used to color them in Photoshop, and yeah, so that's one. This character, her name is Snowflakes. And this was my attempt at drawing Japanese anime or manga. Her real name, her identity, secret identity, is Rain Miyashi. So Rain Miyashi was a blonde, typical high school girl, very similar to Sailor Moon in the way that, you know, something bad would happen in her town and then she transformed into this redhead. I don't know why she was called Snowflakes. There was nothing snowy about her, but yeah, and she used to carry a gun. I actually did start a comic with her, and there's some comic book pages floating online somewhere, but in my opinion, it's not that great. But yeah, that was my manga that I started a while ago. Okay, now we're getting into some color art that I've done. Well, you've seen a few already, but this one here was colored in Photoshop. I actually drew it, of course. This is Daredevil, Marvel's Daredevil. And yeah, so I drew it, scanned it, colored it in Photoshop. Nothing more to see there, but that's one. Now this is an interesting piece. Your first thought is, oh my gosh, it's Sonic and he's smoking. Ah! Well, back then I was part of what they call the Sonic community, the Sonic fan community. And if you know anything about the Sonic fan community, anyone who was a fan of Sonic had created his own Sonic related character to represent as himself or herself. And so this was my character. He has a bunch of Puerto Rican garments on because I'm Puerto Rican. The frog is a coqui, which a coqui is just the Puerto Rican frogs, the frogs that you'd hear, you know, if you lived in Puerto Rico, because they make the sound coqui. So that's where the name came from. So he's wearing a straw hat, as you can tell. And the funny thing about, you know, the cigarette, I've always been a Christian. I've never smoked a day in my life, just so you know. But this was done when I was going through my little rebellious phase. I mean, everyone has a rebellious time in their life. This was mine. I had just gotten over a relationship and I was trying to separate myself from my squeaky clean goody two shoes image. So I never actually smoked in real life, but I lived vicariously through my character, who his character was actually very squeaky clean as well. But when I went through my relationship troubles, this character became more dark and just, you know, took things out on himself and others, so he started to smoke. And to show you how innocent-minded even then I was, notice the direction of the filter. Okay, he's holding it the wrong way and it shouldn't be lit in that direction. I swapped the colors by accident simply because I didn't know which end of the cigarette was white and which end was the brown part. So several people have brought that up to me and they laughed because obviously I'm not a smoker and it shows. But I love this piece because it represents the Puerto Rican part. I love that. I love my character, and it took me a long time to do. So this is the love interest of my Sonic character. Her name is Marina Badger. And so her name is Marina, so everything about her is watery and blue-ish. So I really like how this came out. If I were to try to replicate it, I had no idea how I would do that. But yeah, so a lot of people like this one too. I love the colors and the shines on her hair and all that. The weapon that she's whipping out. Don't know where I came up with the idea, but I like it, so there it is. Okay, and this is obviously Supergirl. Supergirl, DC Comics, you know. I drew this character, colored it, and I like it for the most part. There's obviously some proportions that were way off, and you know, you're probably looking at it like, oh my gosh, I wish I could do that, but I can see all the flaws in it. You can't, I can. Yeah, it's okay. It's not that bad. This one is either a commission or a request as well. Two characters from World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, the massively online MMO that's out there. I was a fan of it for a while. I'm still a fan of it, but my account's not active right now. But anyway, these are two characters that I knew outside of the MMO that used to play it. So, you know, I kind of just drew their characters for them. And they were in a relationship, so there it is. Okay, and last but not least, this is a mock-up of the Sega Dreamcast 2. Now this console does not exist, but basically I've always been a die-hard Sega fan, and I wanted to think up of how it looked like if Sega came back and made a follow-up to their last system, which was the Sega Dreamcast. That console got discontinued back in 2001, so the Dreamcast 2 was supposed to be the follow-up. It was supposed to have a Blu-ray player, you know, Wi-Fi, and all this really awesome stuff. So I actually, if you look at the console, it was actually hand-drawn and then scanned into the computer, and then I vectorized it, and then I created the box art for it, as you can see here. All right, so that's all I got to show you guys. That is my artwork. Now, you've seen some of the stuff I'm proud of, some of the stuff that I did when I was a little kid, some of my more recent stuff, and you know, it varies. I used to be so passionate about this, but I let it slip from my fingers. When I try to draw now, I don't have that same passion that I used to have, because it had been years since I drew anything else. I'm now drawing stuff currently, but honestly, my current stuff is nowhere near as it was when I used to draw all the time, like, you know, back in my teenage years. What happened? I'm not gonna get too into the details, but I will say that someone discouraged me, and I let that discouragement seep into my mind, and you know, my passion for my artwork went down the drain, and I just let it affect me. I let it stop me. Now, it's not this person's fault. This person had good intentions. Again, I'm not releasing all the details, but this person had good intentions, and it was something passive, something in the moment, and probably this person doesn't even remember saying it. But what I want you to get from this is that, you know, sometimes it just takes one word, one thought to seep into your mind and take something from you that you've always been passionate for. So what I want to encourage you guys is to not let that happen. If you have a desire and a passion for something, even if you don't have a concrete plan on how you're going to accomplish it, always hold on to the passion, because that passion is what's going to drive you to succeeding in what you want out of life. Even if you don't have the who, what, where, or when, as long as you have that desire, that passion to follow what you love doing, make it happen. The best thing out of life is to find what you're most passionate for and make money from it. So find out what that is. In fact, tell me in the comments below, what is it that you are passionate for? What is it that you love? Put it down there and tell me what it is, and I want you to declare, once you tell me what that is, I want you to declare that you will not let anyone take that away from you. You will not let anyone discourage you like it discouraged me. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and one last thing I have to ask is that you please click that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. That helps out my channel, that helps out my videos to rank higher so I can get more people's attention. So please give me a thumbs up, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. It's Jason, the Black Rapper. Much love, and God bless, and a peace.